You wake up one morning and nothing in your bank account has changed. Same balance, same paycheck pending. But by lunchtime the price of coffee is higher. By dinner, rent listings look insane. By the end of the month you feel poorer even though, technically, you earned the same money you always do. No alarm went off. No announcement was made, yet something invisible already happened without you. That feeling isn't in your head, it's mechanical. Money does not enter the economy evenly. It never has. And the order in which people receive new money quietly decides who gets ahead and who spends their life trying to catch up. Most of us are taught a cartoon version of how money works. The government adds money, prices go up, and everything adjusts more or less together. That story is comforting. It's also wrong. New money always enters somewhere specific, and whoever touches it first gets to use it before prices react. Think of money like wet cement being poured into a mold. The first people standing there leave deep footprints. Everyone else arrives after it's already hardened. Centuries ago, an economist noticed this pattern while watching gold flow through royal economies. The people closest to power spent new money when prices were still low. By the time that same money reached workers, prices had already adjusted upward. The money hadn't lost its face value, it lost its power. Fast forward to today. The crowns and castles are gone, but the pipeline still exists. When central banks inject money into the economy, it doesn't appear in your checking account. It appears on balance sheets. It appears in bond markets. It appears inside institutions that can borrow enormous sums at microscopic interest rates. Those early recipients don't rush to buy groceries. They buy assets. Stocks, real estate, land, entire neighborhoods, ownership itself. They're shopping in a world where prices haven't fully caught up to the new reality yet. It's like buying tomorrow's assets using yesterday's price tags. Meanwhile, everyone else experiences the system in reverse. You don't see the money first. You see the consequences first. Housing prices surge before wages move. Stock markets soar while savings accounts quietly bleed value. By the time your employer adjusts pay, the adjustment already happened everywhere else. That lag is where the damage lives. This is why productivity can rise for decades while pay barely budges. It's why saving feels pointless even when you're disciplined. It's why doing everything right still feels like losing ground. You aren't failing. You're late to the flow, and being late isn't a moral flaw, it's a structural position. For people who live on wages, money arrives last and spends worst. For people who own assets, money arrives early and multiplies. That difference compounds year after year, until it feels like two separate realities operating under the same currency. Here's the cruel part. Inflation doesn't hurt everyone equally. If most of your income goes to food, rent, transportation, and utilities, rising prices hit you immediately. If most of your wealth sits in assets, inflation often makes you richer on paper while your costs barely change. So inflation acts like a tax that isn't voted on, isn't itemized, and isn't evenly collected. Once you see this, the goal isn't despair. The goal is positioning. You cannot stop money from being created, but you can decide whether you stand downstream watching prices rise or upstream where value floats. Holding all your wealth in cash is like storing ice cubes next to a furnace. They don't vanish instantly, they just quietly shrink. Ownership is the counterweight. Assets that are scarce, productive, or difficult to create tend to rise with expanding money supplies. Debt, when fixed and controlled, can actually work in your favor because it's repaid with future money that's worth less than what you borrowed. This is why the system quietly rewards owners and punishes savers. It feels backwards because it is. The final lever is speed. If your income adjusts slowly, inflation wins. If your income can adapt quickly, through pricing power, rare skills, or business ownership, you regain control. Your labor has a price. Don't let it be the last thing to update. This isn't about becoming reckless. It's about understanding the game you're already playing. You can stay where you are and feel confused every time the numbers stop adding up. Or you can learn how the current moves and step into a position where it works with you instead of against you. Once you understand why the floor keeps moving, you stop blaming your feet. If this explanation put words to something you've felt for years, you're not alone. Stick around. We'll keep pulling the invisible mechanics into the light.